nerdies, it's Kathleenums here. 2015, it had a rough start with titles like The Order 1886, but it was nowhere near the disappointing shitstorm of overhyped games that 2014 was. So I could finally compile a list of my favorite games this year. Where was I don't even know what was I saying? I totally blanked out. Anyways, this is a list of my top four games of 2015. I usually make top fives, but I'm just gonna stick to four because, you know, I can. This is my channel. Let's go. No!
Whoa. What the fuck?
Number 4 on my list is, why do I always do this? It's not 8. So number 4 on my list is Life is Strange. This game was so good. The last episode was completely unexpected, yet there were certain elements of it that I did expect, and I don't want to go too far into it because I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't played it. If you haven't played it, I would totally recommend that you give it a try. It has an incredible story and so many twists and turns. If you start playing it now, you'll have the advantage of actually being able to play it all at once, whereas I had to wait a month or two to play every episode, and it was quite agonizing. I know a lot of people were disappointed about how the story ended because it was, well, I'm not even gonna say anything because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. I'm not gonna say if it's sad or happy, whatever. I will say that I wasn't disappointed. I had emotion, but I wasn't disappointed because I expected what happened to happen. I think there's a very deep meaning about realism that the story was trying to represent. And I think sometimes as gamers, we don't want to be reminded of harsh reality. We want to be taken out of harsh reality. We want to be transported into something surreal, something heartwarming and magical that will help us ignore the hardships of our life. That's why many people play games. But sometimes, I think with this game in particular, the goal wasn't just to kind of let us live a fantasy. It was to tell a sort of artistic point about reality.
Senior Vice Janitor Reese to Sector D451 for trash cleanup, because that is your job now, to clean up trash with your bare hands.
Sorry, you were saying something? I interrupted you.
Number 3 on my list is Tales from the Borderlands, and that's because it is the best Telltale Games game ever. Okay, that's my opinion, but I think I'm right because it's my opinion, and that's what an opinion is. It's when you think you're right. Anyways, if you don't agree with me, that's okay. You can just burn and go to hell. That's where you belong. But I think it's the best Telltale Games because Telltale Games, they've always boasted that their biggest strength is storytelling. I mean, they're supposed to tell a tale. That's the entire premise of all of their games, is about making decisions that lead the story, that lead the dialogue. There's very little action in their games whatsoever. But the reason why I think that Telltale Games Tales from Borderlands is specifically genius is because Borderlands has always had these small moments of humor and story that make the story-driven player want to continue, and I felt that Borderlands has always needed a hook for people that aren't just about action because all of their games are XP grinds. When this game was released, it was able to balance a little bit of action through the humorous story and good dialogue in order to, I think, complement the universe of Borderlands, in order to complement these characters that I've cared for so much. And I think that for the most part, they did a great justice to the Borderlands lore. And I think that if you don't particularly care for Borderlands, you will enjoy the humor of the game and just the pure comedic genius of some of the lines, and the voice actors that they picked for their roles, just brilliant.
You're not in this circus. Pirouette. Wrong. Footwork. Enough. Get down.
With a flip?
What do you think?
So then comes The Witcher 3. See what I did there? There comes The Witcher 3. Get it? Genius! What I love about The Witcher 3 is that it brought about a lot of the story that I felt The Witcher 2 lacked, and as a fan of the books, I was able to just fan out about these characters that weren't included in previous games like Yennefer, and even for someone like me that hadn't completed reading the last 2 books, which you can tell from my Let's Play because I'm always saying, oh, who's that character? And people are like, bitch, if you had read the books, you would have known. Also, The Witcher 3 made a game that should have always been open world, finally open world, and it allowed Geralt to do something that I feel matches the lore of The Witcher a little bit more. If you read books like The Last Wish, you realize that Geralt has been a very nomadic character that goes from town to town, and the whole premise of a Witcher, it really does align itself with the idea of an open world game because, yes, there is a main story going on, but Geralt, as someone who hunts monsters for coin, is always going to run into contracts in towns that are, you know, filled with monsters that are killing people and desiring to help those people and get a little bit of money in return because that's what he does for a living. Also, Ciri was introduced to this game, and I feel that it's hard to truly understand Geralt until you get to know his relationship with Ciri, because I don't want to spoil too much from the books, but Yennefer and Geralt have always wanted to be parents, and that's a huge part of their character development, in my opinion, and having Ciri there, having that relationship, showing a new level of Geralt's empathy, opened up the story to new levels, and that's why I really like this game. Number 1 on my list should not be a surprise to anyone because I had been waiting for this game for years, and I loved the 3rd installment of this game, played the crap out of it, and when the 4th game came out, I stayed up until like 5 in the morning Korean Standard Time just so that I could play it, and it was so worth it. And that is Fallout 4 because, oh my god, this game was beautiful. It was perfect. All the things that troubled me about Fallout 3 were remedied in this game. The graphics, the overall look was unbelievably, well, I can't even form the words because it is so breathtakingly gorgeous. Oh my god. Overall, this game is so much more colorful than its predecessor. And I can't even say predecessor right because I'm thinking about this game, and honestly I'd rather be playing this game than talking to you. But I love you so much that I'm making this video. I'm sorry, I still love you, but Fallout, come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Genius! Also, I was hoping that Bethesda would learn from New Vegas and their treatment of companions, and they of course did. They realized that having companions with a storyline and personal side quest would really add to the overall story. Not only that, but we can finally romance the companions, and I've been having a blast romancing Kate. Oh my god, it's awesome that I can use those Lechez femme powers of mine to lure in the cute Irish junkie chick. The game's just good. It's good. I'm glad that I don't have to, for the most part, worry about characters running into each other or bombs going off when I'm trying to have an intimate conversation with the character. Although it sometimes happens, but not nearly as much as it happened in Skyrim or Fallout 3. So there's been some major improvements in that department. And just the animations with the characters makes the entire game more believable. I'm still torn on whether or not I would have enjoyed the story more if the character wasn't voiced, but I think there is part of it that's lost, but I do kind of enjoy that I get to see my character's face more and that her face is more important because I tried to make her face look as fabulous as mine, and it's just nice to start your face a little bit, you know? Well, I think that's enough of my weirdness for one video. I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know in the comment section what your top 4 or 5 favorite games of this year were, and let me also know what games you are anticipating for next year. Be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter for life updates and just to know, you know, what I'm doing in my life. I should go. It's not the best Borderlands game. No. But my opinion, yes. This is how working with kids makes you. I realize I'm way more hyper than I ever was on this channel. I'm not drunk, I'm not high, I'm just weird. I'm weird.
Hey nerdies, it's Kathleen here, and I just wanted you all to know that I am still in Korea. I just signed another 12-month contract